there, fellow Dice Masters. This is Diane, and welcome back to DM Dice Masters. For today's video, I'd like to provide a tutorial on the Overcrush ability. The Dice Masters rulebook describes the Overcrush ability as follows. When attacking, if this character KOs all of its blockers, any leftover damage is dealt to your opponent. The WizKids rules forum also ruled that when an attacking character with Overcrush is blocked, but its blockers are removed from the attack zone before combat damage is dealt, the attacking character does all of its damage to the defending player. Also, because of the once blocked, always blocked rule, the attacker would remain in the field zone rather than going to the used pile. So let's go ahead and break this down. Here is one way to visualize the Overcrush ability and ensure that the appropriate damage is applied. Imagine the attacking die with Overcrush is one of your minions, and think of your opponent as their target. When you assign your die, or minion, with Overcrush to attack, imagine that the die's attack value represents the power of its attack. Now imagine that the die or dice that your opponent assigns to block your attacking die are his bodyguards. I like to imagine them as defending with a shield wall or force field. When your minion die attacks, the defending die or dice total defense value is added together. If the attack value of your attacker is greater than the total value of the blocking defense, then that remaining amount goes through and punches your opponent. Now let's get a closer look at some examples. Here are some basic actions that grant characters the Overcrush ability. Anger issues and Hulk out are probably the most common. However, the ability has existed ever since the very first set, although it did not have an official keyword at that time. Using basic actions is fine, but if you want to keep the ability one-sided, there are also characters that can grant the ability. Then there are characters whose abilities really shine when they are granted Overcrush. Two of my favorites are Ultron Drone and Wolverine, the best there is. First up, let's take a look at Ultron Drone. He has the ability to capture character dice that block him. When you grant him the Overcrush ability, all of his damage would go directly through to your opponent. It doesn't matter, even if multiple characters block the Ultron Drone. When they are captured, they are essentially removed from the game, and that is why the Overcrush ability would allow his full attack value to go through and hit your opponent. And because he was blocked before he initially captured those characters, due to the once blocked, always blocked rule, he doesn't go through to the used pile. He would go ahead and stay in the field. Next up we have Wolverine, the best there is. He's another one of my favorites. One of the cool things you can do with him is buff up his attack value while granting him Overcrush. That way it can punish your opponent. Even if they block, he's going to do double damage to the blockers, and most likely, if you buff him up enough, a lot of that damage is going to come through and hit your opponent. So there you have it, a brief overview of the Overcrush ability and a few examples of how to take advantage of it. Once again, this is Diane, and thank you for watching DM Dice Masters. Take care!